Good morning, fourth graders. Happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Can you believe it? It's been a long week. At least that's how I feel anyway. I miss you guys. I hope that you had a good first week of digital learning. I know that these changes are challenging. It's definitely tricky. We're all feeling a little bit stressed, anxious, sad, frustrated, all of those things. At least that's what I'm feeling currently because I want to be with you and not at home. I'd rather be in the classroom teaching you versus having to do it digitally. But I miss you and I'm ready to read to you Wonder. We are a day behind, so today it's chapter 4. And I just want to double check the pages. So we are doing pages 61 through 80. So let's get started. You might hear my baby in the background. She's sitting over here in the Mamaroo just kind of rocking away. All right, so here we go. Wake Me Up When September Ends is this title of this chapter. The rest of September was hard. I'm going to turn up my volume here. I wasn't used to getting up so early in the morning. I wasn't used to this whole notion of homework. And I got my first quiz at the end of the month. I never got quizzes when Mom homeschooled me. I also didn't like how I had no free time anymore. Before I was able to play whenever I wanted to, but now it felt like I always had stuff to do for school. And being at school was awful in the beginning. Every new class I had was like a new chance for kids to not stare at me. They would sneak peeks at me from behind their notebooks or when they thought I wasn't looking. They would take the longest way around me to avoid bumping into me in any way, like I had some germ they could catch, like my face was contagious. In the hallways, which were always crowded, my face would always surprise some unexpected kid who maybe hadn't heard about me. The kid would make the sound you make when you hold your breath before going underwater, a little sound. This happened maybe 4 or 5 times a day for the first few weeks. On the stairs, in front of the lockers, in the library. 500 kids in a school, eventually every one of them was going to see my face at some time. And I knew after the first couple of days that word had gotten about And I knew after the first couple of days that word had gotten around about me because every once in a while I'd catch a kid elbowing his friend as they passed me or talking behind their hands as I walked by them. I can only imagine what they were saying about me. Actually, I prefer not to even try to imagine it. I'm not saying they were doing any of these things in a mean way, by the way. Not once did any kid laugh or make noises or do anything like that. They were just being normal, dumb kids. I know that. I kind of wanted to tell them that, like, it's okay. I know I'm weird looking. Take a look. I don't bite. Hey, the truth is, if a Wookiee started going to school all of a sudden, I'd be curious. I'd probably stare a bit. And if I were walking with Jack or Summer, I'd probably whisper to them, hey, there's that Wookiee. And if the Wookiee caught me saying that, he'd know I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just pointing out the fact that he's a Wookiee. I think I'm saying that correctly. It took me about 1 week for the kids in my class to get used to my face. These were the kids I'd see every day in all my classes. It took about 2 weeks for the rest of the kids in my grade to get used to my face. These were the kids I'd see in the cafeteria, yard time, PE, music, library, and computer class. It took about a month for the rest of the kids in the entire school to get used to it. These were the kids in all the other grades. They were big kids, some of them. Some of them had crazy haircuts. Some of them had earrings in their noses. Some of them had pimples. None of them looked like me. Our next chapter is called Jack Will. I hung out with Jack in homeroom, English, history, computer, music, and science, which were all the classes we had together. The teachers assigned seats in every class, and I ended up sitting next to Jack in every single class. So I figured either the teachers were told to put me and Jack together, or it was totally, incredibly a coincidence. I walked to classes with Jack, too. I know he noticed kids staring at me, but he pretended not to notice. One time, though, on our way to history, this huge 8th grader who was zooming down the stairs 2 steps at a time accidentally bumped into us at the bottom of the stairs and knocked me down. As the guy helped me stand up, he got a look at my face, and without even meaning to, he just said, "Whoa." Then he patted me on the shoulder like he was dusting me off and took off after his friends. For some reason, me and Jack started cracking up. "That guy made the funniest face," said Jack as we sat down at our desks. "I know, right?" I said. He was like, "Whoa. I swear, I think he wet his pants." We were laughing so hard that the teacher, Mr. Rosh, had to ask us to settle down. Later, after we finished reading about how ancient Sumerians built sundials, Jack whispered, "Do you ever want to beat those kids up?" I shrugged. "I guess. I don't know." I'd want to. I think you should get a secret squirt gun or something and attach it to your eyes somehow. And every time someone stares at you, you would squirt them in the face. With some green slime or something, I answered. No, a slug juice mixed with dog pee. Yeah, I said, completely agreeing. Guys, said Mr. Roche from across the room, people are still reading. We nodded and looked down at our books. Then Jack whispered, Are you always going to look this way, August? I mean, can't you get plastic surgery or something? I smiled and pointed to my face. Hello, this is after plastic surgery. Jack clapped his hands over his forehead and started laughing hysterically. Dude, you should sue your doctor, he answered in between giggles. This time, the two of us were laughing so much, we couldn't stop. Even after Mr. Roche came over and made us both switch chairs with the kids next to us. The next chapter is called Mr. Brown's October Precept. Mr. Brown's precept for October was, Your deeds are your monuments. He told us that this was written on the tombstone of some Egyptian guy that died thousands of years ago. Since we were just about to start studying ancient Egypt and history, Mr. Brown thought this was a good choice for our precept. Our homework assignment was to write a paragraph about what we thought the precept meant or how we felt about it. This is what I wrote. This precept means that we should be remembered for the things we do. The things we do are the most important of all. They are more important than what we say or what we like. The things we do outlast our mortality. The things we do are like monuments that people build to honor heroes after they've died. They're like the pyramids that the Egyptians built to honor the pharaohs. Only instead of being made out of stone, they're made out of the memories people have of you. That's why your deeds are like your monuments, built with memories instead of with stone. Our next chapter is apples. My birthday is October 10th. I like my birthday, 10-10. It wouldn't have been great if I was born exactly... It would have been great if I had been born exactly 10-10 in the morning or at night, but I wasn't. I was born just after midnight, but I still think my birthday is cool. I usually have a little party at home, but this year I asked Mom if I could have a big bowling party. Mom wasn't surprised, but happy. She asked me who I wanted to ask for my class, and I said everyone in my homeroom plus Summer. That's a lot of kids, Augie, said Mom. I have to invite everyone because I don't want anyone to get their feelings hurt if they find out other people are invited and they aren't, okay? Okay, agreed Mom. You even want to invite the what's the deal kid? Yeah, you can invite Julian, I answered. Geez, Mom, you should forget about that already. I know, you're right. A couple of weeks later, I asked Mom who was coming to my party, and she said, Jack Will, Summer, Reed Kingsley, both Maxes, and a couple of other kids said they were going to try to be there. Like who? Charlotte's mom said Charlotte had a dance recital earlier in the day, but she was going to try to come to your party if time allowed, and Tristan's mom said he might come after his soccer game. So that's it, I said? That's like 5 people. That's more than 5 people, Augie. I think a lot of people just had plans already, Mom answered. We were in the kitchen. She was cutting one of the apples we had just gotten at the farmer's market into teensy-weensy bites so I could eat it. What kind of plans? I asked. I don't know, Augie. We set out the Evites kind of late. Like, what did they tell you, though? What kind of reasons did they give? Everyone gave different reasons, Augie. She sounded a bit impatient. Really, sweetie, it shouldn't matter what their reasons were. People had plans, that's all. What did Julian give us his reason? I asked. You know, said Mom. His mom was the only person who didn't RSVP at all. She looked at me. I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I laughed because I thought she was making a joke, but then I realized she wasn't. What does that mean? I asked. Never mind. Now go wash your hands so you can eat. My birthday party turned out to be much smaller than I thought it would be, but it was still great. Jack, Summer, Reed, Tristan, and both Maxes came from school, and Christopher came too, all the way from Bridgeport with his parents. And Uncle Ben came, and Aunt Kate and Uncle Poe drove in from Boston, though Tata and Papa were in Florida for the winter. It was fun because all the grown-ups ended up bowling in the lane next to ours, so it really felt like there were a lot of people there to celebrate my birthday. Halloween is our next chapter. At lunch, I just noticed my hair is a little crazy at the moment, and I think this is a good time for a coffee break. Hopefully you have something to drink as well. I'm guessing it's probably not coffee, though. Hi, sweet girl. Are you smiling? Should we let them see you? Are you smiling? There she is. Hi. Oh, are you so happy? What? Are you happy, girl? Hi, baby. All right, and we're back. back to reading. All right, so Halloween was our chapter. At lunch the next day, Summer asked me what I was going to be for Halloween. Of course, I'd been thinking about it since Halloween, so I knew right away. Boba Fett. You know, you can wear a costume to school on Halloween, right? No way, really? So long as it's politically correct. What, like no guns and stuff? Exactly. What about blasters? I think a blaster's a gun, Augie. Oh man, I said, shaking my head. Boba Fett had a blaster. At least, we don't have to come like a character in a book anymore. In the lower school, that's what you had to do. Last year, I was the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz. But that's a movie, not a book. Hello, Summer answered. It was a book first. One of my favorite books in the world, actually. My dad used to read it to me every night in the first grade. When Summer talks, especially when she's excited about something, her eyes squint like she's looking right at the sun. I hardly ever see Summer during the day since the only class we have together is English. But ever since that first lunch at school, we sat at the summer table together every day, just the two of us. So what are you going to be? I asked her. I don't know yet. I know what I really want to go as, but I think it might be too dorky, you know. Savannah's group isn't even wearing costumes this year. They think we're too old for Halloween. What? That's just dumb. I know, right? I thought you didn't care what those girls think. She shrugged and took a long drink of her milk. So, what dorky thing do you want to dress up as? I asked her, smiling. Oh, whoa. Promise not to laugh? She raised her eyebrows and her shoulders embarrassed. A unicorn! I smiled and looked down at my sandwich. Hey, you promised not to laugh. She laughed. Okay. Oh, we've got someone in the corner. What? Addie, did you say Addie's stuck in the bed? Okay, well, tell her to stay stuck till Mom's done reading.
No.
What's wrong with her?
Come and see you.
Okay, everybody, I apologize. You've got to just hang on one moment while I go check on my daughter that is stuck in the bed. Quickly, let's go. Addie, how are you stuck? Adeline! That is not cool, you guys.
Yeah, how did you even do that? You're not good at climbing.
Okay, shut the door.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, so Adeline, my daughter, first of all, my husband went back to work, so I'm recording myself today with a little peeker back there. Do you see him? Oh, and there she is. She literally was stuck. So we have this mattress sitting up against their bunk bed because I'm using the guest bedroom as my office right now. And she was stuck in between the mattress and the bed.
You're pointing somewhere else.
Well, I'm just explaining the story.
Oh.
So, okay, listen. Mom has to finish reading the book to my students, and then we will go downstairs and do something fun. Oh, Lord. Okay, go out. Listen, Mom needs you to go out so I can finish. Okay? Go out. Go play in your rooms, and I will be done in about 10 minutes.
I'm helping you.
Oh, okay.
Turn the pages.
I don't mind if you're in here, but you cannot
I'm
talk.
helping you. I turn the page.
Well, I'm not ready to turn the page yet.
Not yet.
Okay, sorry guys, here we go. Promise not to laugh. She raised her eyebrows and her shoulders embarrassed. A unicorn. I smiled and looked down at my sandwich. Hey, you promised not to laugh. She laughed. Okay, I said, but you're right. That is too dorky. I know, she said, but I have it all planned out. I'd make the head of a paper mache and paint the horn gold and make the mane gold too. It would be so awesome. Okay, I shrugged. Then you should do it. Who cares what other people think, right? Maybe what I'll do is just wear it for the Halloween parade, she said, snapping her fingers. And I'll just be like a goth girl for school. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'll do. Sounds like a plan, I nodded. Thanks, Augie, she giggled. You know, that's what I like best about you. I feel like I can tell you anything. Yeah, I answered, nodding. I gave her a thumbs up sign. Cool beans. Ari, the next chapter is called School Pictures. Oh, you want to turn the page? What's the chapter, guys, called? School Pictures. Have we had school pictures before?
Yes.
Yes, we have. Okay, here we go. 70, page 70. We have 10 pages left. I don't think anyone will be shocked to learn I don't want to have my school pictures taken on October 22nd. No way, no thank you. I stopped letting anyone take pictures of me a while ago. I guess you could call it a phobia.
Can we color?
You can color.
Hello,
But there's a coloring book right there, and then go get your colors from downstairs. Oh, you have to get them out, though, from the room.
We already got them out.
No, actually, it's not a phobia. It's an aversion, which is a word I used in Mr. Brown's class. I have an aversion to having my picture taken. There, I used it in a sentence. I thought Mom would try to get me to drop my aversion to having my pictures taken for school, but she didn't.
Where are we gonna go?
Just sit on the floor and color.
We're gonna mess up.
Again, I interrupt this reading to help my children. Don't touch the book. Hey, don't touch the book. Okay, listen, you can take a clipboard. Sorry, boys and girls, you're being super patient today. I don't want to stop it and then upload another video because it just takes more time. So hang with me for just a moment. You don't even have pants on, Ari. Where are your pants?
I need help.
Listen, everybody can take a clipboard and you can put a picture on it, and I'm going to grab you the coloring crayons. Sit back down.
I need help.
Okay, here you go. And then I'll remove a page for you. All right, fourth graders, we're going to take a vote today. Would you rather have me read in the evening when there's no distractions, or do these distractions help you to stay focused on the story? Send me a private message in Seesaw and let me know, and then I can work in the evenings as well. Addie, how about these pretty ladybugs with flowers? And Ari, do you want to do alligators? All right. Okay, let Mom finish the book now. No more interrupting. Be good listeners. Okay, we are back. This is taking us a lot longer than planned. Let's see. I thought Mom would try to get me to drop my aversion to having my picture taken for school, but she didn't. Unfortunately, while I managed to avoid having the portrait taken, I couldn't get out of being part of the class picture. Ugh, the photographer looked like he had just sucked on a lemon when he saw me. I'm sure he thought I ruined the picture. I was one of the ones in the front sitting down. I didn't smile, not that anyone could tell if I had. All right, the next chapter is called The Cheese Touch. Oh, you want to turn the page? I'll tell you when I'm ready. I'll say, Ari, I'm ready to turn the page. I noticed not too long ago that even though people were getting used to me, no one would actually touch me. I didn't realize this at first because it's not like the kids go around touching each other that much in middle school anyway. But last Thursday in dance class, which is like my least favorite class, Mrs. I don't know how you say her name. Atanaba, the teacher, tried to make Eczema Chin to be my dance partner. Now, I've never actually seen someone have a panic attack before, but I have heard about it, and I'm pretty sure Eczema had a panic attack at that second. She got really nervous and turned pale and literally broke into a sweat within a minute, and then she came up with some lame excuse about really having to go to the bathroom. Anyway, Mrs. Atanaba let her off the hook because she ended up not making anyone dance together. Then yesterday in my science elective, we were doing this cool mystery powder investigation where we had to classify a substance as an acid or a base. Everyone had to heat their mystery powders on a heating plate and make observations. So we were all huddled around the powders with our notebooks. Now, there are 8 kids in the elective, and 7 of them were squished together on one side of the plate, while one of them, me, had loads of room on the other side. So of course I noticed this, but I was hoping Mrs. Rubin wouldn't notice this because I didn't want her to say something. But of course she did notice this. And of course, she said something. Guys, there's plenty of room on that side. Tristan, Nino, go over there, she said. So Tristan and Nino scooted over on my side. Tristan and Nino had always been okay nice to me. I want to go on the record as saying that. Not super nice, like they go out of their weird way to hang out with me, but okay nice. Like they say hello to me and talk to me like normal. And they didn't even make a face when Mrs. Rubin told them to come on my side. which a lot of kids do when they think I'm not looking. Anyway, everything was going fine until Tristan's mystery powder started melting. He moved his foil off the plate just as my powder began to melt too, which is why I went to move mine off the plate, and then my hand accidentally bumped his hand for a fraction of a second. Tristan jerked his hand away so fast he dropped his foil on the floor while he was knocking everyone else's foil off the heating plate. "Tristan!" yelled Mrs. Rubin. But Tristan didn't even care about the spilled powder on the floor that he ruined the experiment. What he was most concerned about was getting to the lab sink to wash his hand as fast as possible. That's when I knew for sure there was this thing about touching me at Beecher Prep. I think it's like the cheese touch in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The kids in that story were afraid they'd catch the cooties if they touched the old moldy cheese on the basketball court. At Beecher Prep, I'm the old moldy cheese. That makes my heart sad. That's beautiful. Do you want to show the kids your picture? Go ahead. Put it up there. Oh, look at his beautiful alligator colorings. Can you do the other side for me?
No.
Costumes.
No, Mom, no.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not doing that one.
Okay, rip one out. For me, Halloween is the best holiday in the world. It even beats Christmas. I get to dress up in a costume. I get to wear a mask. I get to go around like every other kid with a mask, and nobody thinks I look weird. Nobody takes a second look. Here, nobody notices me. Nobody knows me. I wish every day could be Halloween. We could all wear masks all the time. Then we could walk around and get to know each other before we get to see what we look like under the masks. Do you want to do
Yes.
this one? Okay. Go sit down. When I was little, I used to wear an astronaut helmet everywhere I went. To the playground, to the supermarket, to pick Via up from school. Even in the middle of summer. Though it was so hot, my face would sweat. I think I wore it for a couple of years, but I had to stop wearing it when I had my eye surgery. I was about 7, I think. And then we couldn't find the helmet after that. Mom looked everywhere for it. She figured that it had probably ended up in Grand's attic, and she kept meaning to look for it, but by then I had gotten used to not wearing it. I had pictures of me in all my Halloween costumes. My first Halloween, I was a pumpkin. My second, I was a Tigger. My third, I was Peter Pan. My dad dressed up as Captain Hook. My fourth, I was Captain Hook. My dad dressed up as Peter Pan. My fifth, I was an astronaut. My sixth, I was Obi Kenobi. My seventh, I was a clone trooper. My eighth, I was Darth Vader. My ninth, I was Bleeding Scream, the one that has the fake blood oozing out over the skull mask. This year, I'm going to be Boba Fett. Not Boba Fett, the kid in Star Wars Episode 3, Attack of the Clones, but Boba Fett, the man from Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Mom searched everywhere for the costume, but couldn't find one in my size, so she bought me a Jango Fett costume. Since Jango was Boba's dad and wore the same armor, and then painted the armor green. She did some other stuff to it to make it look worn, too. Anyway, it looks totally real. Mom's good at costumes. In homeroom, we all talked about what we were going to be for Halloween. Charlotte was going as Hermione, I think that's how you say her name, from Harry Potter. Jack was going as Wolfman. I heard that Julian was going as Jango Fett, which was a weird coincidence. I don't think he liked hearing that I was going as Boba Fett. On the morning of Halloween, Via had this big crying meltdown about something. Via's always been so calm and cool, but this year she's had a couple of these kinds of fits. Dad was late for work and was like, "Via, let's go, let's go." Usually Dad is super patient about things, but not when it comes to being late for work. And his yelling just stressed out Via even more, and she started crying louder. So Mom told Dad to take me to school and that she'd deal with Via. Then Mom kissed me goodbye quickly before I could even put on my costume and disappeared into Via's room. "Augie, let's go now," said Dad. "I have a meeting I can't be late for." "I haven't put my costume on yet." So put it on already. 5 minutes. I'll meet you outside." I rushed to my room and started to put on my Boba Fett costume, but all of a sudden I didn't feel like wearing it. I'm not sure why. Maybe because it had all these belts that needed to be tightened, and I needed someone's help to put it on, or maybe it was because it still smelled a little like paint. All I knew was that it was a lot of work to put the costume on, and Dad was waiting and would get super impatient if I had made him late. So at the last minute, I threw on the Bleeding Screen costume from last year. It was such an easy costume, just a long black robe and a big white mask. I yelled goodbye from the door on my way out, but Mom didn't even hear me. Oh, I love it. Beautiful. Good job. "I thought you were going as Jango Fett," said Dad when I got outside. "Oh, yes. Look at his beautiful maze." Boba Fett. Whatever, said Dad. This is a better costume anyway. Yeah, it's cool, I answered. All right, guys. Our last chapter today is called The Bleeding Scream. And I think this actually is perfect because we've got a screamer over here, which is Isla, and she needs to sit on my lap for this last part. Hi, baby girl. What you doing? Come here. Oh, come here. All right. And the fourth child makes an appearance. Here she is. Here we go. Last chapter.
I don't want Mom.
The Bleeding Scream. Which one do you want?
I want the
Okay.
one who's already
Walking through the halls that morning on the way to the lockers was, I have to say, absolutely awesome. Everything was different now. I was different. When I usually walked with my head down, trying to avoid being seen, today I walked with my head up, looking around. Where was I? I wanted to be seen. One kid wearing the same exact costume as mine, long white skull face, oozing fake red blood, high-fived me as we passed each other on the stairs. I have no idea who he was, and he had no idea who I was, and I wondered for a second if he would ever have done that if he had known it was me under the mask.
I want this one. The small one.
Okay, let Mom finish the... Oh, I ripped it a little. I apologize. But not Marshall. Didn't rip him. Let's see. I was starting to think that this was going to go down as one of the most awesome days in the history of my life, but then I got to homeroom. The first costume I saw as I walked into the door was Darth Sidious. It was one of those rubber masks that are so realistic with a big black coat over the head and a long black robe. I knew right away it was Julian, of course. He must have changed his costume at the last minute because he thought I was coming as Jango Fett. He was talking to two mummies, who must have been Miles and Henry, and they were all kind of looking at the door like they were waiting for someone to come through it.
Mom,
I knew it wasn't a bleeding scream they were looking for. It was Boba Fett.
you know why Mom and Demo kind of us not good because Demo.
Oh, did they die?
Yeah.
We'll have to throw them in the garbage. I was going to go and sit at my usual desk, but for some reason I don't know why, I found myself walking over to a desk near them, and I could hear them talking. One of the mummies was saying, "It really does look like him." "Like this part especially," answered Julian's voice. He put his fingers on the cheeks and eyes of the Darth Sidious mask. "Actually," said the mummy, "what he really looks like is one of those shrunken heads. Have you ever seen those? He looks exactly like that. I think he looks like an orc." "Oh, yeah! If I looked like that," said Julian's voice, kind of laughing, "I swear to God, I'd put a hood over my face every day." "I've thought about this a lot," said the second mummy, sounding serious, "and I really think if I looked like him, seriously, I think that I'd kill myself." "You would not," answered Darth Sidious. "Yeah, for real," insisted the same mummy. "I can't imagine looking in the mirror every day and seeing myself like that. It would be too awful, and getting stared at all the time." "Then why do you hang out with him so much?" asked Darth Sidious. "I don't know," answered the mummy. "Tushman asked me to hang out with him at the beginning of the year, and he must have told all the teachers to put me in next to each other in all of our classes or something." The mummy shrugged. I knew the shrug, of course. I knew the voice. I knew I wanted to run out of the class right then and there. But I stood where I was and listened to Jack Will finish what he was saying. One second. "I mean, the thing is, he always follows me around. What am I supposed to do?" "Just ditch him," said Julian. I don't know what Jack answered because I walked out of the class without anyone knowing I had been there. My face felt like it was on fire while I walked back down the stairs. I was sweating under my costume, and I started crying. I couldn't keep it from happening. The tears were so thin in my eyes I could barely see, but I couldn't wipe them through the mask as I walked. I was looking for a little tiny spot to disappear into. I wanted a hole I could fall inside of, a little black hole that would eat me up. All right, and the last chapter, I apologize. There's 2 more pages, and it's called Names. What did you want to say, Landon? Show the class your beautiful bear. Ooh, I love all the detail, the blue eyes, the pink tongue, the pink nose. It looks great, dude.
And the green tree.
And the green trees. Can you draw the flowers for me?
Yep.
All right, last but not least, our story today is called Names. Oh, I love
I
it.
didn't finish it yet.
Okay, finish it. Adeline wants to show you hers. She did ladybugs.
Yep, I didn't finish.
Okay, go finish it for Mom. Rat Boy, Freak, Monster, Freddy Krueger, E.T., Gross Out, Lizard Face, Mutant. I know the names they call me. I've been in enough playgrounds to know kids can be mean. I know. I ended up in the second floor bathroom. No one was there because first period had started and everyone was in class. I locked the door to my stall and took off my mask. and just cried for I don't know how long. Then I went to the nurse's office and told her I had a stomach ache, which was true because I felt like I had been kicked in the gut. Nurse Molly called Mom and had me lie down on the sofa next to her desk. 15 minutes later, Mom was at the door. "Sweetness," she said, coming over to hug me. "Hi," I mumbled. I didn't want her to ask anything until afterward. "Yes, last one to share." "Thank you." Okay, Mom has to finish this book now. Okay, go, sit down. Thanks. You have a stomach ache?" she asked, automatically putting her hand on my forehead to check for my temperature. "He said he feels like throwing up," said Nurse Molly, looking at me with very nice eyes. "And I have a headache," I whispered. "I wonder if it's something you ate," said Mom, looking worried. "There's a stomach bug going around," said Nurse Molly. "Oh, geez," said Mom, her eyebrows going up as she shook her head. She helped me to my feet. "Should I call a taxi, or are you okay walking home?" "I can walk." "What a brave kid," said Nurse Molly. "What a brave kid," said Nurse Molly, patting me on the back as she walked us towards the door. "If he starts throwing up or runs a temperature, you should call the doctor." "Absolutely," said Mom, shaking Nurse Molly's hand. "Thank you so much for taking care of him." "My pleasure," said Nurse Molly, putting her hand under my chin and tilting my face up. "You take care of yourself, okay?" I nodded and mumbled, "Thank you." Mom and I hug-walked the whole way home. I didn't tell her anything about what had happened, or later when she asked me if I felt well enough to go trick-or-treating after school. I said no. This worried her, since she knew how much I usually love trick-or-treating. I heard her say to Dad on the phone, "He doesn't even have the energy to go trick-or-treating." No fever at all." "Well, I will if he didn't feel better by tomorrow." "I know, poor thing. Imagine him missing Halloween." I got out of going to school the next day too, which was Friday, so I had the whole weekend to think about everything. I was pretty sure I would never go back to school again. All right, and that's the end of that chapter. Thanks for hanging with me today, guys. This is my real life. This is what it's like to be home with 4 kids. It's crazy, it's loud, it's a lot. So again, send me a message. Let me know if you think that I should try to record in the evenings or if you like seeing the kids in the videos. Have a great weekend, and we will see you guys on Monday.